said they just finished race. Who wants to pull a buck? see him play the rest of the year, he's not going to play. Even if it wasn't for that, which it wasn't for play, he's going to play. Usually I'm like the scout.
All right, hello everyone. We'll start with a statement from Coach.
Hey, Grant. All right, first of all, give Butler credit. I thought they really were good offensively for most of the night. We were not good enough defensively, clearly, but give them credit. I thought they put us in some difficult spots. Their guys stepped up and made plays, so give them a lot of credit for that. A lot of credit for that. We got to get better in some areas. We got to get back to guarding much better than what we did this game and the last game as well. So we've got to get back to that identity and being about that, but give them credit for how they performed on that end. So, questions?
Coach, how important was it to get CJ going early, and what was Butler going to take away in the second half?
You know, I think they were just paid him a lot of attention. Anytime you're, coming off the game he came off of, they did a good job just paying a lot of attention to him. So, I thought he made some really nice passes at times to guys. I thought he found some guys. I thought he made some good plays. I was proud of him for that. He didn't bring it defensively, and that's where he's got to get a lot better. Go ahead.
In the first half, though, it seemed like he was hitting a lot of contested shots and pushing the issue a little bit. In the second half, I think he had only 2 attempts. Did you want to see him maybe push the issue a little more on offense, or how did he kind of assert himself? No. I'd have to go back and look at it. I don't think I didn't take real issue. He got 15 shots up. I don't know you want, one guy on your team necessarily, taking. I mean, he took 15 shots, so I don't really look at it. He's just got to do other parts of the game better. He's a really good player when he does other parts of the game better, and it can't just be about his scoring. And he will. He'll learn from this.
Chris, you guys were 5 and 15 on layups, 11 and 15, I think, just on other twos. Where's the disconnect? Because it seems like your other 2-point shots have been good, but finishing at the rim has been an issue.
I think we just have to get better at finishing. They were physical with us. Their size bothers us a little bit. We got to get better at finishing, but honestly, Nick, that's down my list of what got us tonight. That was our offense wasn't as much the issue. We do have to get better at finishing, though, for sure, and finishing against their physicality and size.
Coach, obviously Butler shot well from 3 tonight, but a lot of the shots came inside the arc. Can you speak to what they were able to do to get into the paint against you guys, and where you can push teams further out from that on the defense end?
Oh, I think I'd have to look at it. I think we had a hard time guarding the ball at times, and that's where they were able to get downhill. There was a lot of plays at the rim that they finished, and that was a byproduct of us not guarding the ball. But give them credit. I thought Robinson got downhill a lot. I thought he played really well, and I thought the other guys did as well.
Coach, you owed Finley Bishak just 6 points on only 4 attempts in the first half, but second half he goes off for, I think, 16 or 17 points in the second half and on. Was there any sort of difference you saw in Butler's game plan for him, or was it just he was simply hunting those shots for in the second half?
No, I mean, I think they made a little more point to go to him, but I think he just got it going a little bit there, and we had a big who fouled him as well. He got downhill a few times. I think the kid was just more aggressive. He's a good player. He's a really good offensive player. It's hard to hold him down for an entire game.
And Coach, you mentioned Butler's physicality. Obviously, a lot of that comes from Michael Ajayi.
Yeah.
How does his strength and length just change kind of Butler's
whole identity.
Oh, it's not just him, but it begins with him. I mean, they're big, like they were last year. They're big and long across the board, but he's as hard a matchup as there is in this league. He is by far. You're going to put him up there with the top 2 or 3 guys in terms of real mismatch problems that you got to really game plan for, which allows other guys to play well.
Chris, what has been the issue defensively between tonight and Marquette comparatively heading into those 2 games?
I think, and what's been the issue the last 2 games, really? You know, I think guarding the ball, for one. I think we have lacked some detail. We had helped off a ball side corner. You can't help off Bizjack in the ball side corner. You know, we just did some things that fueled, you know, their run a little bit. But again, give them credit. I just think we've got to get back to that being more of our identity than what we were. We're not going to win on the road or at home, you know, with this kind of defensive effort.
And then, what makes it so hard to win on the road, especially in the second half? Because I think it's the second time you took a lead on the road.
Yeah.
Into halftime. What makes just winning on the road so hard?
Oh, I think the familiarity teams have, you know, in their own arena, you know, I don't know what the crowd was, 7,000, 8,000, you know, pulling for you, elevates your energy. I mean, I could give you the numbers on road versus home, and it's pretty substantial. So there's a lot that goes into that, the psychology of players. Your team has to have a great response. They've got to have real toughness to them. And I just think that was most disappointing to me tonight. We didn't have that. So we got to coach that better. We got to be better across the board with that. And listen, we did some good things. You don't get a lead on the road at home not doing some good things, but we've got to have a much more complete defensive effort.
Coach, Evan Haywood comes in and gets a couple of early
Yeah.
threes against you tonight. Butler's got a lot of guys who shoot with volume from deep. He's one of them. What changes when he comes off the bench in terms of how you have to be aware of where he is on the court?
Well, I think it's just his ability to catch and shoot, and he can shoot it off movement too. I think that's the hard thing for players to do. He can sprint, catch, and shoot, and do it off a lot of movement. And when you have him and Bizjack out there, and Ajay's ability to play downhill, and obviously, you know, the Kaiser, the transfer, is a really good shooter. So you got to have awareness of him. So makes him a difficult team to guard.
And Coach, you mentioned the difficulty playing on the road. Obviously, Hinkle, you have a little bit more familiarity
Yeah.
with being back at Hinkle. Just again, I know you've been here multiple times, but being on the other side of the bench and just being in this building, just what's it mean to you?
Oh, I mean, listen, I've said multiple times, you know, this place changed my career, and it changed my family, our lives, the people we met, the quality of relationships that were built here. Yeah, this place changed us in a lot of ways, much, you know, for the better in so many ways. So, but I'm at a place now that I absolutely love, and you know, trying to build a program that we're super excited about. And I think the thing that makes this place special is what every coach would say is it's hard to win here because, you know, one, I love the fact that when I coached here, you practiced here on your game floor every day. There's great value in that. It is a great environment because of the acoustics in the place. And the fans, they know ball. They're incredibly loyal and passionate, and that makes for a really good home environment.
Chris, with Fabian and then
Cruz.
what's the status going for him?
Yeah. Both guys are really day-to-day. Nick, you know, I don't know with Fabian. It's a calf strain. So I'm not sure how he's going to respond to that. And Cruz, honestly, we did feel like potentially we could have him back for this one, but he's not quite ready. And then he had a little bit of soreness coming back too. So we'll see. I don't know.
And then have you ever ran into an issue that you guys ran into earlier in the game with the starters? Have you ever had that happen?
I have not. That was our fault. That was on us. That was on nobody else but us, but I have not. Yeah.
We have to go on that.
Okay, guys. Take care.
Thanks, Chris.
Great job, guys.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Good luck to you guys.
Appreciate it.
Bro, we got class. Huh? We got class. I'm chilling. Bro, my class is tomorrow, or the classes that I've been missing for traveling. I've been to them once.
I missed my first class.
Start with questions here for Finley and Evan, and
Evan, I know Shooter's confidence, but it's been a dry spell for you coming into tonight. When you get the first one to go down, the second one to go down, how does that obviously boost your confidence, but how does that change how you approach the rest of the game offensively?
Kind of before the game, or like during that like stretch where I hadn't made one, John Diebler told me to just like not shoot after I think whoever we played, Seton Hall. And so I just took that day off just to recoup and just to get back to where I was. And so after making those first two, I mean, I wasn't focused on it. I was more focused on guarding and just kind of making sure that I'm not the weak link out there and we're playing team defense. And so it kind of just ended up flowing. And so I ended up making those shots. So.
As a shooter,
Did you just say that? Okay, I like that.
as a shooter type player, how valuable is it to have a guy like John to be able to throw ideas off of, work through in practice, as a guy to look at his experience?
I mean, it's. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just such a great resource to have. I mean, he has so much knowledge and stuff, and he's able to help my shot and improve my shot and just give me more confidence. So.
Yeah, you have a slow start on the first half. Not really in terms of efficiency, just wasn't really looking for the shot, only 4 attempts, but second half you pour in like 17 points, get those shots up. What was the difference there? What were you seeing in the second half that really made you just really explode and pull away, including that 16-3 run you guys had?
Yeah, it was hard to get into like a flow of the game when we were just turning it over. We were getting good shots whenever we didn't turn it over. I think we were shooting like 50% in the first half. And so once we stopped turning the ball over, taking care of it, and like taking our time on possessions and getting what we wanted, it was kind of easier to get into the flow and kind of find my shot and find my rhythm and make things happen.
And Finn, you had a pass during that run where you had an open line to the basket where you kicked it to Stink in the corner for the three. Is that a pass you would have made like a month ago, and just how did you have the confidence and Stink to pass up the layup and kick it for that three?
I believe in all my teammates. I know they put in the work every single day, but I just saw the big come up a little bit, and so I think I swung it to Mike, and Mike hit the one more to Stink, and so just taking what the defense gives me and not trying to force.
Speaking of that stretch, man, it's a 10 run where you and Stink combined for 8, and the other one's just a putback, right, Jamie? How much have you, obviously now without Jackson for the past several games now, grown in your chemistry with Stink?
Significantly. I mean, Stink doesn't talk very much, and so like how I connect with him is going to be different than how I connected with Jalen, because Jalen never stops talking, and so it's kind of just different because I've never like played with Stink before until this year. He's a freshman. I don't know where he's come from, and so like getting to like this time on the court with him to kind of like grow with him, I feel like is only going to help us later on in the season.
And I understand, this is for you guys, I understand Mike was really sick heading into the game, that he was maybe questionable whether he was going to play at all, just he ends up playing 35 minutes. Just what does that say about Mike as a competitor?
I mean, it just proves like he's a team player. I'm not gonna lie, I did not know he was sick like at all. Like he looked kind of normal to me. I honestly didn't know until coach actually said something after the game. I was like, oh wow, like I didn't even notice. But I think that's just a testament to how hard he plays and what he's willing to do for this program and for all of us. So.
I'll say he walked into the locker room an hour and a half before shoot around whenever I was there, and he still shot before shoot around and then still did shoot around. So I didn't even know he was sick until right before the game started. And coach said he saw it on his face, but he looked unfazed to me. I mean, he's an animal.
And just kind of follow up with that, just his work on gun in the second half, just held him to I don't even know how much a good start to the game. Just how much did Mike's defense on TJ help the rest of the team just as a team play better defense?
Mike changes the game. Like whether it's rebounding or defending the best players, like he can change the ball. He can change the game on offense too. But like he'll guard the best player. He'll go get the rebounds. Coach was telling me a stat the other day. He's the first person to average 16, 12, and 3, other than like Larry Bird. Who are the other ones?
Tim Duncan. Bernard King.
And Bernard King. And he goes to Butler, and I get to play with him. That's awesome.
I mean, I feel like it just makes everybody around him, like when he's out there playing his balls off like that, like I feel like there's no other thing you want to do out there than to play just as hard as him because I feel like I'd be doing him a disservice if I wasn't matching his intensity. So.
Okay, one more. This is for either of you guys as well. Finley, you mentioned Jalen's mouth never stops talking. Since he's been out, what has his voice been like for you guys behind the scenes coming into games? He's really a very experienced player, even if not here.
Yeah, I think he does a lot of talking on the bench, like when guys come out, helping out Stink, and that like kind of coming into like his new role, and just like kind of keeping guys' heads up, but not like overstepping his boundary because he knows that he's not really playing as much anymore.
All right, guys, we rest.
Thanks, guys.
Coach, again, we're kind of back to that run that you guys had. Stink had the poke away, and then he drew the foul. It just seems like he's using his defense to just kind of ignite the offense. It seems like the game is slowing down him. He's maybe turning the corner a little bit.
Yeah, you know, he just continues to grow and he continues to develop, and very pleased with how he's playing. He's still, you know, he had the one possession where he fell asleep defensively on a switch, and I think they got a layup. He just lost vision, but no, he's a tough kid, and I've said this all along. He wants to please. He wants to please his teammates. He wants to please his coaches. He wants to please the fans, and no, he's growing. That's you know, 2 really good games, and you know, looking back now, how much we probably missed him in the Xavier game because of his illness, and only played 3 minutes, I think.
When you look at 2 of your underclassmen, Stink, as we just talked about, and Evan, what would you say to those 2 guys in particular you've been most impressed with their growth, not from June to now, but from November to now?
Well, you know, Xavier is he's getting more command of his team, and I think Evan, you know, like he said there, yeah, everybody tabs him as a shooter, but he is trying a lot harder on defense. He's getting better defensively, and we have to continue to grow in that regard.
Coach, this was kind of a tale of 2 halves, and it's been like that a lot this season, but this game, it was tale of 2 halves where in the second half you guys go off on that 16-3 run. What was the big difference there coming out of the half? Because I know you've been wanting to really get aggressive out of the second half, but it just hasn't happened yet. So
Yeah, you know, it's funny because Allie and I were just talking about, I thought we were down by 15 in the first half. It felt that way, and we didn't have the juice going. And a lot of it was the turnovers. You know, we went 2 straight possessions there where I took the timeout where we turned it over, and you know, we've got to be a team that's sound with the ball and is executing our offense, and like I said, getting the shots we want. And I think the other thing was, we told them at halftime, like, fellas, we got to make a miss. You know, the threes, we were there, but we weren't all the way there. And you know, the last play, the last 3 of the half, we screw up a switch, so Jamie has to pull in to help. They get a 3 in the corner on us, and you know, those are things that we gotta you know, stop making as many mental breakdowns. And I thought second half we were a lot sharper.
And how much did Mike's presence change this game? I mean, for him again being sick and to go on to play 35 minutes, and just, I guess I'll start defensively because it seemed like he really just kind of shut down a little bit in the second half. Just how much does his presence change the game?
Well, I would echo exactly verbatim what these 2 said about him, and you know, he had a look on his face a couple times during the game where I knew he didn't feel it. We came out of a timeout one time and he thought it was our ball, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, whoa, and took off running back on defense. But he just, you know, he's so competitive and makes big plays for us, both offensively and defensively. And we got to get him better. We got to get him well and get him feeling better for Friday night. Another big one Friday night in here, and you know, hopefully we can get Hinkle rocking. And I think it was like free beer night, and hell, I'll buy him around if the students show up or whatever I got to do. I don't know, but if we got to get this place rocking on Friday night, man, it's a big one for us.
And Coach, you said we talked after the game the other day. You said you don't believe in momentum. That you want to view every game as its own single entity. Why is that? Have you always had that approach, or is this specific to this team? Just why do you want such single-minded focus?
Yeah, I've always had that approach because everything's so ever-changing. You wake up, you get a text morning, and we didn't know Michael if he was going to play or not. Like, how's my momentum going now for the rest of my day? You know what I mean? And so I think just staying locked in with what we've got another really quick turnaround. It's another game where our opponent has an extra day to prepare for us, and which will be 3 straight, I think. So we've got to get ourselves right, and it'll be a different game plan than it was tonight. And these guys are getting better at picking that stuff up. We're not there all the way, but I know this about the momentum. It feels a hell of a lot better to win than it does lose. So I'll take it. Right?
Thank you, guys.